Thank you. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. Oh, and all that's good and perfect, it comes from you. See, you're the heart of my contentment. You're the hope for all that I do. Oh, Jesus, you're the center of my joy. When I've lost my direction, you're the compass for my way. You're the music in the meadows and the streams. Oh, you are the voices of the little children, my family and my home. You're the source and finish of my highest dreams. Oh, Jesus, you're the center of my joy. And all that's good and perfect, it comes from you. Oh, see, you're the heart of my contentment. You're the hope for all that I do. Oh, Jesus, you are the center of my joy. You are why I find a pleasure in the simple things in life. You're the music in the meadows and the streams. Oh, the voices of all the children. Lord, you're my family and my home. You're the source, you're the finish of my highest dreams. Ooh, Jesus, you're the center of my joy. Oh, Lord, all that is good and perfect, it comes from you. Oh, you're the heart of my contentment. You're the hope for all that I do. Oh, Jesus, Lord, you're the center of my joy. Lord, you are. You're everything that I need. You're everything that I need in my life, Lord. Oh, when I am down, Lord, only you can pick me up. You are the center of my joy. When I've lost my direction, Lord, you're the compass for my way. Lord, I need you every single night, every single day, Lord Jesus. You're the center of my joy, my Jesus' name.
Awesome. That was beautiful. Did you enjoy that? Welcome. Welcome to this morning's service. We appreciate you tuning in. We know you could be many other places on this Sunday morning, but you've decided to join us here at the Center for Divine Love. We're excited, and I would like to say good morning to those who are in the sanctuary here at the church itself. Well, this week we're continuing in the topic that we've been dealing with all month, and the topic has to do with manifestation. So I want to start by saying good morning, creatives. Good morning, creators. Good morning, manifestors. Yes, good morning, manifestors. Well, this morning's topic is entitled The Work of the Manifestor. The Work of the Manifestor. We've had presentations this month that has really dove deep into the conversation. This conversation has been going on for about 15 to 20 years, ever since the inception of the law of attraction, if you recall that movie. And when that came out, many individuals began to attempt to practice. And notice I said attempt to practice, because what I have found that many who are attempting to practice are not aware of the universal laws that are necessary to understand in order to be effective and efficient as being a manifestor, a creator. Now, we all are manifestors, and we all are creating. If you can look at your life today, when you look at your life today, you see exactly what you have created. Now, many individuals may have a difficult time receiving the fact that you are living the life that you created. Yes, you created. I don't care if you say Jesus take the wheel or God is your co-pilot. When it all is said and done, when the rubber hits the road, you are the one who created the life that you're living. And I hope by the end of this morning's message that you will choose no longer to be a victim or consider yourself victimized, but you will begin to see that you're more than a conqueror and that you will take on life as a participant. Yes, this morning I want you to consider taking on life as a participant, not just as one who is sitting by idly, allowing things to happen to you. Now, when we say we're allowing things to happen to us, those very things that we are allowing are the things that we have called into our lives, the things that we have manifested. So let us begin. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible, or stories in the Bible, has to do with the story of the potter. If you go to Jeremiah, I believe Jeremiah 18, it tells the story of, say, the writer says, let us go down to the potter's house. And when they got to the potter's house, there was an observation being made. There was a potter sitting there at the wheel, and on the wheel was a lump of clay, and this lump of clay was being molded in and fashioned into an image of that thing that was being created. In this particular story, it goes on to say that which the potter was making was actually marred. And what it mean was it was not perfect. It was not actually manifesting in the way in which that individual, the creator, had seen it to come forth. And what it did was it just simply crushed it down, pushed it down, made it into a lump, and began all over. Now, that's very simple, because that is exactly how you can change your life starting today. First of all, you have to take on the truth that I am the creator of my life. Well, you might have a difficult time with that. So let me share with you this morning some absolute truths that we want to build this message around. And the very first absolute truth that we want to build this the teaching around is this truth, that we were created in the image after the likeness of God. And I'll prefer to use the term it versus saying God, because God has a tendency to give you the image that is limiting. For the Creator is not limited by the image that we have casted it in. So when I say the Creator, I'm talking about God. When I say it, I'm talking about God. When I say manifestor, I'm talking about God this morning. So there's something you need to know if you want to be a manifestor, if you want to become excellent at manifesting because we are all manifesting, but most of us are manifesting a mess in our lives. Why is it a mess? Because we are not understanding of how things manifest. Things don't just happen, but things happen to come forth based on your actions. When we look in the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 1, we see that the work of God is presented to us in two forms. First, it's presented as a spiritual form or as an idea or a thing imagined. And secondly, it's presented to us as a thing manifested. Genesis chapter 1, we see the thing, the idea, the thing being imaged. In Genesis chapter 2, we see the thing being manifested. So I want you to know that. So why you need to know that? Because here's another spiritual truth. The spiritual truth is this. For man, things are natural before spiritual. But for those who are divine spiritual beings, such as you and I, things are spiritual before natural. For God operates, source operates, the creator operates from the spiritual or the unseen to the seen. I don't think you're tracking with me this morning. If you're tracking with me right where you are on Facebook, just give it a thumbs up. Let us know that you are tracking, that you understand where I'm taking you. Because what I'm teaching you this morning is rudimentary. When I engage individuals on a daily basis as a spiritual life coach, the first thing I want to identify is what is it that they want to bring into their lives? What is it that they want to manifest? And the reason why I want to ask them that, because I want to find out what is the contrast. It's usually the contrast, it's usually the thing that's not desired, that is the motivator, the catalyst for us to begin to attempt to create something very different. So that's why I say things are always working out for me. Even when they don't appear to be working out for me, things are working out for me, because even a contrast shows me how far I am away from what it is I desire. So principle 1 this morning, you must not create as man creates by sight, but you must create as God creates, as the Creator creates, by imaging or by faith. Now, again, I told you in Genesis chapter 1, you see the imaging of everything that God created for the first 6 days. Then he finally creates man on the 6th day, and it said on the 7th day he rested. It rested. The only reason it rested because it had worked prior to it. So manifestation requires a level of work before you rest. So God first created, and how did God create? God does not have as hands like man's have, but God created from the imagination, from the thing imagined, from the thing it desired. And you must learn that the creation starts with imaging, the thing that you imagine. Like if you say car, an image comes to your head. If you say house, an image comes to your head. Whatever you want to create, an image pops up. Then you give words to that image. You try to describe it. So then you begin to project onto the screen of your own sight what it is you want to desire this morning. Can you guys stay with me this morning? That's right. Let's track together. So the first thing we do is get an image of what it is we desire to create. And then we begin to create it. And then the second part of the creation, it manifests, it begins to manifest. And so what I desire this morning is for you all to begin to learn that you are the creators of the life you desire. Now, because we are created in the image and after the likeness of God, then we should use the same practices. That's why I call myself a spiritual practitioner. Many of us, if we begin to take on the right wording, then we'll begin to see things coming forth in our life. So say I'm a practitioner. Everybody with me this morning. Say I am a practitioner. So can I get those in the sanctuary this morning to track with me? I am a practitioner. That's right. Say I am a creator. I am a creator. Say also I am a manifestor. Thank you. So what you begin to do is set into play who you are. In order to be a manifestor or creator, you must identify the fact that you are the creator. Now, why is that important? Because Source is not going to do for you what it has equipped you to do. For when we look at the very scripture that's found in Ephesians chapter 2, it tells us, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Say, I was created to do good works. Why? Because I am God's handiwork. So let me help you with that. When you look up the term manifestor or manifest, it talks about to reveal one's hand, to bring forth that which is hidden, that which now is obvious and that which can be seen. The word creator represents that which is spoken, that which is brought forth. So we are both manifestors and creators, just as well as God is better identified as our creator. Now, how many people here usually identify with God in some way as my creator? Have you said that before? God is my creator. And so you agree with me that God is your creator, correct? So we are created in his image, after his likeness, and have been given the propensity, the ability to do on a micro level what it does on a macro level. Are you guys with me? So the greater God does things on a macro level. The lesser God does things on a micro level. So we are the what? The lesser God. We are a representative of the greater God, or each one of us, everything that has been created in the earth is a representation of an aspect of God. Like you have a rose, you have a dandelion, you have a tulip. Different flowers represent a aspect of God, just as well as you have African Americans, you have Asians, you have Europeans. All are aspects of a manifestation of God. There's different manifestations, but here's what we must understand. As the God class, we have been given the ability to do what God does, but on a smaller level. You are responsible for your life. God does not micromanage your life. God has given you free reign and free will. It never imposes on you as though it never forces you. So when we move into this new dimension of being manifestors and creators, deliberate manifestors and creators, we want to start with this. I only want to create, I only want to manifest that very thing that aligns with God's highest and greatest good for me. So what is God's highest and greatest good for me? God's highest and greatest good for me is this. It is that I fulfill the work that I was sent here to fulfill. So when God stepped out of humanity and cloaked himself in divinity as you and I, it came with an expressed purpose. Now, we all must know we have an expressed purpose. We have a why. Most people are going about their daily tasks creating things that don't align with their why. And when you create things, when you manifest things that are not in alignment with your why, it causes you to take on extra baggage. It causes things to show up in your life that you didn't necessarily have to deal with. So before you move into true manifesting or creating, start identifying who you are, whose you are, and what you have come here to do, be, and have. Once you get that level of clarity, now you're ready to manifest. Now, even without that level of clarity, you're manifesting some things. Your life might be messed up right now because you are not a deliberate manifester. You're not a deliberate creator. You are just creating on the whim. Tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine and everything that shows up. The most dangerous thing you can do is listen to a lot of radio, watch a lot of TV, because television is casting a vision that becomes your vision. If you continue to watch the news and news is stating about poverty, guess what's going to show up in your life? Poverty. If you continue to watch the news and track the sickness and disease and the calamities that are expressing in the earth, guess what you're going to manifest? Why? Because the word says, as a man thinks, and where in his heart. The things that you see on television that impact you, that move into your heart and develop a level of fear, are the very things that's going to begin to manifest in your life. This whole conversation of manifestation is not to be taken lightly. I know many people want to go into the manifestation realm in order that they can create cars, homes, and vacations and all those things. All of that is fine and dandy, but you have to understand you are a deliberate creator. You are a deliberate manifester. You need to know what it is I need to be creating in my life. Now, you also need to know that there are some things in your life that you need to begin to change. When you look in the scriptures, it says in Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and there was darkness upon the face of the earth. And because the darkness represented a contrast of what God had created before, God then began to speak things into existence. He began to change the very thing that was already into existence into what it would eventually exist as in Genesis chapter 2. So there's a lot more to be said about this very topic of manifestation. But I want to start with this, and I want you to think on these things this week. I want you to know that you are the creator of your life. You have manifested the mess in your life. It's because of the messages that you have taken on that the mess has shown up in your life. If sickness and disease is running rampant in your life, it's because you have cultivated a word that deals with sickness and disease. If health and prosperity is showing forth in your life, it's because you're cultivating the very topic of health and prosperity. Think on these things, whatever is pure, whatever is of a good report. Start thinking on those things, holding those things in your intentions that they will become outward expressions in your life. So as we move on this morning from this message, I want you to leave with this understanding. There is a work of the manifestor, and you are the manifestor. And there's a work that you must do. Faith without works is dead. And for so many, we want to communicate that we are manifestors, but we are not doing the work of manifestation. There's a spiritual aspect to manifestation, and then there's a material aspect. Most of us are looking to stay inside of the material aspect, making things happen from the physical realm versus making things happen from the spiritual realm. That's calling those things that are not, they are not in existence in the physical realm, as though they were. And then you bring that which is in the spiritual realm down into the material realm. Did you get that? I want you to bow your heads with me. Right where you are, I want you to bow your head and just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathing in deeply through your nostrils. Holding that breath for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale through your mouth, releasing, relaxing. And as you come to the bottom of that breath, I want you to place a soft smile on your face. And as you place that soft smile on your face, I want you to now move into the next breath together, taking a deep breath in through your nostrils, breathing in, expanding your lungs to full capacity, holding that breath, allowing it to do what it's been designed to do, to touch every cell, every system, every organ, bringing everything into alignment. Now exhale through your mouth, releasing, relaxing. And as we go into this meditative thought, I want you to hold this thought. I am perfect. I am whole. I am complete. With your eyes closed, I want you to track with me by repeating after me. I am perfect. I am whole. I am complete. I am perfect. I am whole. I am complete. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for that